Hello, my friends. I'm Jacob Nordby, and I have something I want to keep real brief because I don't want it to delay you taking advantage of a very special offer. But I do want to tell my own story about this because I feel like that will help you understand why I'm bringing this to you. So let me just start first with exactly what it is. So my sister, Dina, has founded a company called Life Design Project, and I love what they're creating. They are developing an entire coaching format that goes a little bit differently than most types of coaching do. This one starts with really deep self-discovery using some amazing tools to help us discover what it is that's been holding us back in life and in what ways we can almost seemingly effortlessly shift things around. Sometimes just a change in perspective about a factor that's been holding us back for a long time can really open the door to things changing very, very quickly. So I'm going to tell you my own story with one of the tools they use called the Clifton Strengths Finder. If you're not familiar with it, it's a very powerful self-assessment tool. It was developed by a gentleman named Mr. Clifton, and then Gallup bought it years ago and has been investing millions and millions of dollars into making it one of the finest self-discovery tools and self-awareness tools out there. So about 6 or 7 years ago, I hired an executive coach named Rochelle here in Boise and said, I know that it's time for me to grow beyond where I currently am as a person, as a business person, as a leader. And Rochelle is so kind and so wise. And so she began taking me through a variety of tools. One of them was a values exercise, deep values exercise, so revealing to understand how I had internalized values along the way, as all of us do early in our developmental years, that some of which were no longer mine, some of which were never mine. And so having this experience of delving into, oh, those are my actual values. And these are the things I've been carrying around as values, but I don't really care about. So learning to reorganize those things and then prioritize the activities and the goals and things that fall in line with my values, that was this major step. The other big one, and the thing I'm sharing with you today, is that Rochelle used this Clifton Strengths Finder. And fact is, let me just show it to you so you can see what I'm talking about here. So fascinating. I'm just going to pull up the PDF so you can have a look at this. So there's all these signature themes and, who you really are. And this is the top five. And so you'll just see that my top five strengths are strategic input, connectedness, empathy, and ideation. Now, underneath each of these, there's this readout that when I first read it, it was like standing in front of a mirror naked, but standing in front of a mirror naked where the mirror didn't make me feel terrible about myself. It actually was this very gentle reflection of, look, here's your beauty, here's your strength, here's what you're naturally good at. And so as Dina is putting this process together and making this special offer, I want you to have that as background. One thing that was so fascinating to me in working with the Strengths Finder was to discover that through my developmental years, I had adopted certain things to match or to keep pace with some of my caregivers, like my mother. And she has an includer really high. That's one of the 34 strengths. Well, all of my life, I thought that I was an includer in that way. And going through this process with Rochelle really helped me understand that I was costing myself so much more energy expense by trying to be something I'm really not. So I have all of these softer things, empathy, connectedness, intuition, all these things. But often I would find myself struggling to include people from the larger, world out there in my very inner circle because my mother had modeled that. And I thought that was one of my strengths or something that I was responsible for. And so learning that I could let go of that, just that one thing, and then focus on the things that really light me up and focus on including people and connecting with people in ways that really match my style, don't match my mother's style, right? So that was a profound shift for me. Just that one thing, learning what my top five strengths were and then learning what was behind them And then also noticing as I read through the rest of the strengths, like, oh my God, here is where I've been costing myself so much frustration and energy in my life. So little by little, being able to let go of the things that I thought were mine but weren't, and then maximize or focus on those strengths, the things that really are natural to my wiring. It has been revolutionary. And by the way, Rochelle, whom I mentioned, is one of the founders of this company, Life Design Project. Dina, as I mentioned, is my half sister, and what a remarkable story of transformation and growth in her life as well over the last 30 years. And so, as I'm sharing this with you, it's from a standpoint of saying that I want to invite you into more self-discovery. That's right at the core of everything I believe and teach and share. Self-discovery is often the first step to finding out how to move out of feeling stuck or frustrated, or like life is leaving us behind, like we'll never have enough time and energy to get the things done that matter to us. And so, excuse me, one thing I'm so excited about is because they're still right before they do major public launch and announcements and all this stuff, they asked me if I'd be willing to share a special offer with you, with just a handful of people who have been in my circle for a long time. And of course, I was so happy to do that. Let me just show you the webpage you'll hit when you click the link. Let me make sure I'm finding the right window here. uh, so we don't end up, here you go. Well, that's not the right window, but the right window is nearby. All right, let's leave Amex behind. So when you click the link, you're going to come to this page. And as you see, it's time to leave the blah behind. So if you're looking for total reinvention of your life, if you know it's time to fix your career, fix your relationships in some way, fix your connection to your own sense of purpose, this is a great way to start. Or you might just be looking to dust the cobwebs off your life's vision, discovering those strengths. So this is where you'll start. You'll click next, you'll enter some information, and then the Life Design Project team will get back with you. They'll make sure that you have the code so you can go pull your own Clifton Strengths and your top 5, and then schedule a time to speak with one of their team. And I am just in such admiration of what they're creating, because I see it as crucial for this time we're all sharing on Earth right now, when there's so much change, there's so much destabilization, which means some of it's very positive. You know, people are finding other jobs, they're moving, they're changing their lives in certain ways, but a lot of people find it very scary and can go into a state of freeze with so much change. And so if you know it's time in some way to shift something in your life, I want to invite you to go ahead and take them up on this offer to, you know, get your top 5 Clifton strengths, to schedule a short interview or a conversation with one of their team, because I know that you'll get a lot of value from just that. And if you choose to then engage with them to go do deeper work, I know you're in tremendous hands. So I love sharing the things that have worked for me in my life, the things that have made a difference, and this is one of them. So I want to invite you to go ahead and click that link, go through the short process, and go ahead and get your top 5 Clifton strengths, and then have one of their people walk you through those, because that even if that's all you do, that simple level of self-understanding can often be the key to unlock the door into really marvelous things happening. All right, I hope you'll click the link now and go through this. I hope that it helps you as much as it's helped me, and I will talk with you soon. Thanks for being here.